Future-proofing AI in finance, big topic, kind of a key topic for today's entire event. So maybe I want to kind of ask you kind of a very general question to all of you in terms of how exactly are you using AI right now? And maybe as a sub-question, do you see Gen AI, generative AI, having made a big difference for your work? So Winnie, because you're closest to me, I'll start with you.
Sure, no problems. Hi, everyone. Nice meeting everyone here. And then, we are first of all, probably it's good to let people know the background. And then, so I work for PBD, and I was acquired by Thermo Fisher. So Thermo Fisher itself is at about 150,000 employees worldwide. And then, so with the acquisition of PBD, so we actually have integrated the service as well as the manufacturing altogether. So you can see the scale of the company already and the 45 billion revenue. With that concept, then we're actually using AI everywhere, which is actually one of the main things is our CEO is very passionate about AI, and he personally did courses on AI himself. Then he actually founded the AI Academy about 2-3 years ago, and then everyone encouraging various different department heads also joining to the AI journey. And then with that AI journey, everyone actually identified pockets of different inefficiencies and so on. And then now we're going through train the trainers, so literally training all the organizations, try to upskill all the organizations, everyone, through that AI journey. With the Gen AI at the moment, it's a very hot topic for all of us. We're creating our own agents. It's very exciting. It's a very big hype in the company. We create our own treasury agent, cash agent, and so on and so forth to try to help ourselves to have our assistants around us. Yeah.
Yes, so we'll go back to skills. We'll go back to agents a bit later. But continuing with you, Emre, how have you been using Gen AI, so far?
So far, we have used it for some robotic process automation in collection processes. So many operational issues decrease in 1 second, from hours to 1 second. This also increased our operational efficiency, accuracy, reliability. I think in short term, robotic process automation is very crucial for finance departments. It decreases your workforce needs. And for out of RPA, I would say we have focused for some generative AI projects, but it's very important if you are a tech company or non-tech company for providing such kind of solutions. If you're a production company, your software skills might not be enough to do these requirements, AI requirements, but like Reino, if you are a tech company, you already provide AI-based solutions, I think.
Yuming, what about from you?
Maybe also before I go into the user case, so Illumina, which is my current company, so we are actually the world's biggest DNA sequencer manufacturing. So by the nature of our industry and our product, large data is already an integral part because we process tons of DNA data. So when we come back to the AI topic, there are probably two fronts that I will explain on what we use it. First is with our end user, our customers. So the AI technology is integrated in our R&D roadmap on how do we process and software and process all the data. But internally, since I'm the Europe CFO for the company, so internally we look at it, the AI in two ways. One is on the prediction. So we use AI to actually monitor our business and forecast the future on how it will look like for the next month, next quarter, next year, etc. So that's the prediction side. And then the other one, which we hear throughout the day, is the productivity. How can we utilize the AI tool to increase our efficiency, both within finance as well as in other functions, especially in sales and commercial and marketing as well. And from a finance perspective, that our role is to see how we can craft out the right resources to invest in the right area so that we enable the organization to leverage the benefit of the new technology.
And Renaud, when you've talked a bit about it before, but if you want to kind of say, because maybe some people might not have been here earlier?
So I can give two concrete examples. First of all is enriching the forecast. The financial forecast is already more than 90% automated with algorithms, and AI is just improving that significantly, so make the prediction even more accurate. And the second one is where finance can support the business by creating an agent that is nourished with more than 50 different guidelines, policies, operating documents, but also, I would say price list, legislation, tax, so that when salespeople want to craft a deal, their first go-to place is there to ask their questions instead of commercial finance that only works from 8 to 7. The algorithm works, or the agent works all 24/7. And can cover all kinds of questions that account executives may have about their deals they are about to create. And then they get references to which document they can get more information, and also the people who are the experts. So with that, we have a better outcome of the scarce resources we have in finance to really cover the very complex questions and do the business partnering instead of just supplying basic answers.
Yeah, so I think listening to your answers, there's kind of three things that kind of springs to mind. We already mentioned in terms of agents. We were mentioning agents, and we'll come back to that. We will mention in terms of having the right skills internally, and we'll kind of come back to that in terms of need for organization. But probably the most important thing to start with is about the data and the importance of the data. And, data as a product, data as an infrastructure, there's kind of a lot of different leeway. So would anyone kind of be interested in terms of, you need to have the right data to bring the right solution into place. So, or you're making sure as finance professional, you can collect, store, analyze the data. What are the processes you're going through? Renaud, you want to start? Yeah.
Well, I strongly believe that the CFO should be the custodian of data because we own the system of records, like ERP system, SAP in the best case. And there's also the person who can align across the organization all the data requirements and needs. Because you can't have every data point perfect. So you need to align with the other business stakeholders what matters, what is the information that is really essential for your future success, and agree on an architecture and a governance model that ensures that data will be safely managed and accurately managed.
Regarding,
Go on, Emre.
Regarding data and infrastructure, I would say the data center is also very crucial for AI, for efficiency, effectiveness of the AI solution. If you are in the edge of switching your ERP or data center from somewhere to another, you may not need to go for an AI solution at the moment because it needs to be a long-term solution, and cloud-based ERPs are much more performing better than traditional data centers. So I would say cloud-based ERPs is very crucial to set up your AI solution in order to set up a good AI solution.
So it's not just, you can have your data, it's not just necessarily going straight to AI, there can be also a solution as well. And you kind of bring an interesting point in terms of almost using kind of an external partner, so kind of a third-party cloud players. Is there, when you make the decision to go, it's internal or external, or you're making that decision in terms of, do you look at what you have capabilities in-house? Do you look at what the capabilities are, from those providers coming? What is the process in terms of making that decision?
I guess if you are a tech company, you have enough software skills, so you can go for your solution in-house. But if you're a production company, your software skills is not as good as a tech company, so AI solution probably will come out of the companies. So in this step, fintech solutions could be a good partner for finance departments, for producer companies especially.
I think for our companies, the main thing is the requirement. What is the needs? You need to think about, what exactly you try to solve the pain point or problem, and really have analytical skills, thinking what we try to solve here, and then try to apply some kind of a solution. When you're thinking through that, and then in Thermo Fisher PPD standpoint, we actually have a digitized, we got a governance, we got actually an entire department that devoted on this. So then we actually run through, and also with the upskill, what we just talked about, train the trainer, upskill the entire population of a company, all the existing workforce to have some AI knowledge, and then you're generating loads of good ideas and lots of requirements. Then we actually prioritize to say what actually is really important. Is it revenue generation is what we want? So then shall we actually do more about customer, facing related automation, make things a lot sleeker from the customer standpoint, make it easier for them. Then you're looking at, okay, that's the requirement, then see whether our digitization department can deal with this, and they do assessment, and we talk to, the good thing is about this AI Academy we have is actually we can business talk to the IT and the specialized IT team directly talking about what we need. Then they analyze and say, actually, we might need to have a subcontractor to help with this bit, but the rest we can do. So that is a decision process. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost on a case-by-case basis.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yuming? Yep.
Yeah. If I may add to this data point, right? Assuming we have the clean data to form the infrastructure that the AI is built on, I would like to bring in another perspective in when we are implementing those AI solutions or experimenting those AI solutions. There is this power dynamics within the organization because it is shifting, right? The technology side. Okay, in the past, it's probably is the IT department, and now it's probably there are specific AI department or digital team that are focusing on those, and then you have all the user group, right? Finance, marketing, commercial. Then in this case, in the in-between time, which is a very delicate time, when we are still experimenting, okay, who hold the final truth of this, the data? Because some of the time we focus a lot on the positive side of the AI solution. Hey, it's going to liberate our productivity. It's going to give us this insight, this or that. However, before we get to the ideal state, there is actually a long ramping in between time, which at the moment, in the past couple of years, we are actually living through that. To give you an example, right? So AI tool will give a prediction, okay, or this is how our next quarter or the next few months it will look like. It may or may not be in line with the leadership team's judgment. And then we will end up having another set of triangulation on those, another group of people coming up with the manual, traditional way of analysis. So instead of enjoying the outcome of the AI prediction, we actually end up having a lot of time debating which output is right. Okay, so before we can enjoy the productivity, there is actually a phase that is probably not productive at all, because we are trying to then see, hey, well, why your number is this, and why this team is coming down this. Okay, what about maybe now we need a third triangulation point. So I just wanted to throw it out there. It's not all glory and positive in this journey of getting into that ultimate beautiful stage. And we need to be mindful of that as a leadership team on how we apply the technology and maximize the potential benefit of it.
Renaud? Yeah.
So to answer your question precisely between in-house and external, it really depends on the nature of the use case. If the use case is really specific to your business and you're creating a competitive advantage, probably you want to do it yourself. If it's a need that will probably be faced by a lot of other similar companies, for sure platforms like SAP would come with a package to serve that. So you wouldn't create something that anyways will come in your package in a few months or less than a year. We're investing 1 billion this year in infusing AI in our platform. So a lot will come automatically in the next release that you enjoy. So think about what makes you unique versus leveraging a standard application. Then when you said be careful, don't create another dimension, I actually love that. I love that the algorithm, when the algorithm is planning the top line and which deals will close this quarter, I like challenging the sales organization and my managing director and say, well, look, this is what the algorithm says, this is what AI says. Why are you forecasting that many more millions? And algorithms have no emotions, and very often they are true. So maybe I can go with one quarter where I go with the MD's position, but then I will see that the algorithm was probably more accurate, and then we'll build more and more trust in the algorithm. And it's bringing now also a new dimension to the business to think about how they assess the deals, how they take information coming from AEs, from customers, and I think it's very refreshing in the way we rethink how we run the business.
Yeah.
But it's also inevitable to go through this phase because you do need to go through this phase to train the AI to be better and to get to the closer, potential, prediction than you need as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a journey that a lot of the time we don't really talk enough about, but it is the pragmatic side in applying, or maybe in a way adopting any new technology. You have to go through that phase to really make it better, that in-between time.
Yeah.
And the starting point is not perfect. It's not that humans were absolutely perfect in everything they've done, and now we introduce a technology that is just so-so. Very often the technology we introduce is already better than most of the humans that are in our teams. And now we give an opportunity to our people to get better. We are augmenting their ability to perform.
Go back to the original question you said about data. In the data, obviously there's lots of bias in the data. And then, Thermo Fisher is a company constantly acquire different organizations. We just see the, different ERP system and different data come from. And then although we got like management account tool on the top, but then everyone have different assumption. Even you say the same phrase, different assumptions. So that data collect together doesn't mean apple plus apples are two apples. It's very, very different. So the data cleansing and get rid of the bias beforehand, before you actually build anything, is very important.
It is. And the question I wanted to ask is that when we prepared it earlier, Emre mentioned an example of something that they tried something and it didn't really work. And I thought that was kind of a very interesting example, because I think part 2 of AI is not magic. I think we mentioned it earlier, and you can put AI as much as you want, but sometimes with technology, but sometimes it fails. So, Emre, if you don't mind, can you maybe give that example that you mentioned during our pre-briefing call in terms of something you tried but didn't work, and why you think it didn't work?
Yeah, sure. I have projects. I call it this year. It's project 6 years old. So every year I count it, and next year I think I will go for a primary school for my project to educate. Like 6 years ago, we have prepared a framework that prepares a scorecard for every single customer. It includes like between 15 and 20 ratios, like liquidity ratio, return on assets, or such kind of parameters. The performance of the customers regarding our trade relation with company, and the risk profile of our customer that is assessed by the central bank risk assessment house. So we have such kind of rights to connect that system. So basically, we had more than 100 criteria to evaluate a customer, and then assess its risk profile. Then, based on its risk profile, create a credit limit. And after assessing credit limit, if there is a need to move forward, if there is a need to increase that limit, the system operates and sends to the top management approval for the new limits. If they approve, system takes that new limits in the ERP, and sales team can work easily within that assessed limit. This was the framework, but we couldn't achieve it because we didn't know this is a kind of AI solution. We didn't even know that it's an AI solution. And we tried with our software team, developers, but we just could achieve just providing a scorecard, not further improvements. That's why we still wait for it to move forward. But unfortunately, comes to the first words of mine where I said, if you are not a tech company, if you are a production company, your IT skills may not be that you need. So human factor, I think you also have some part regarding this.
We are developing the same thing. So I was quite interesting to hear your case. We're developing something, and already, I think, a dashboard already out and then used, which is fantastic. And then we're trying to expand it out for the entire group. We do by division. So I think the engagement is so important. It's truly cross-department efforts, because including finance and commercial, BD and technical team and so on, and have a really stringent deadline. I'm the sponsor for this project. Literally, I give measurements of KPI, how quickly we need to do which part and what be done and so on. So far, so good. But I heard your story. I was thinking, what lessons I should learn from that to make sure we don't have to repeat the same thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it shows that it's not easy.
No.
And nobody should think that it is easy. And I don't think anybody in the room thinks that it is easy. But it's also reminding, because sometimes within the tech industry, we tend to highlight that it's very easy for anyone to do anything. Let's move on maybe. I mean, you mentioned the human factor. We've talked about skills. You talked about your AI Academy. So I kind of want to discuss a bit that in terms of, I think we discussed it before, we kind of all agreed that a finance professional needs to be not necessarily a CTO level, but having at least a basic knowledge of the tech, or basic knowledge of tech, or being tech savvy or tech proficient. So I kind of want to ask you all, what exactly are you doing internally to make sure that you've got the right skills? That would be the first question. The second question is that how important is it to get, I guess, some C-level perspective and kind of buy-in that not just the CTO knows about tech, but the CFO, the CEO, the CMO, every C-level as well. Anybody wants to start, or do I pick on someone?
I can start.
Go on, Winnie.
Yes. So, as I mentioned, our CEO is very passionate, and then as all of us are actually really passionate, and probably think about hiring. When you're hiring people in and because we need to think about the skill set, the willingness to learn. That's quite important. We don't know the future of a job for everybody as such, the detail of it. You can't just say, just the job description. I always have something, they need to be warm to technology and also passionate about learning new skills, learning something which is actually we potentially don't know right now. So have that in mind, first thing. And for existing staff, as I would say, the AI Academy, we're doing the training, and literally we have workshops designed to say how to do the prompts. We got our own company-wide built ChatGPT, so you can ask questions. And then you can imagine we're in pharmaceutical companies, lots of data, it's got lots of data privacy restrictions and so on, and a certain template. And also we got something, Ask the Doc, so literally you can put in your document into the AI tools, and then they can summarize for you, and they can look at different things. And then one of the simulation I did with my group is put in the earnings call, literally real data, a Q1 earnings call into the tool, and then use that compared to others, and then see what is the momentum, what's the questions people tend to ask. So using this kind of very exciting. We also we do some competition, so which group is more innovative, come out the best ideas, helping the company generate returns. So to give that atmosphere and also that momentum for everyone to learn, think this is something help them rather than replace their job.
So those, I guess, top-down, coming from the CEO, kind of
Yes.
very passionate about tech.
Yep.
Bottom-up in terms of people need to want to learn, because
Yeah.
if they don't, you can put as many training programs as you want. If nobody wants to do them, that doesn't work. And I quite like, actually, your kind of gamification of competition element of it. Like,
Yeah.
which team is better, because this is where people are actually going to be doing a bit more
Yeah.
as well. Yiming, what do we do in terms of Illumina, in terms of bringing
Yeah.
up the skills?
I think the human factor in this AI topic is two-front, okay, in my perspective. One, as finance professional, because that risk thing is always top of our mind, we need to differentiate what are the safe AI that we can actually put in data and leverage it. So, for example, we deal with a lot of financial confidential data, and some of those, despite that we encourage our employees to try the new technology, but we should also be cautiously remind people that sensitive data cannot be just put anywhere, because it may have unintended consequence and leakage and all that. So that is point number one, to ensure all the employees, especially finance professional or compliance professional, is having the mindset and awareness on choosing the right AI tool to use. And then the second perspective is AI and all these things can never replace judgment, because the way that we leverage AI is on prediction and productivity. But on top of it, the judgment side, decision making, is always a key, and we should not rely on AI to do that for us. Probably just these two.
Or no?
Yeah. So yeah, removing fear, because in maybe the last 18 months, a lot of fear has been created in media that is going to wipe out all the finance roles, that will be redundant, and you have to look for another job. So we remove that, especially in the shared service centers, where obviously you consolidate the transactional tasks. And for us, it's been years where we have been upgrading and upskilling the people in the shared service centers in prevision of what is coming. So now they are doing much more complex tasks than what they used to do maybe 5 years ago. And hackathons, we run a lot of hackathons within finance, as you said, bringing with use cases and competition. But there is nothing better than the proof of the eating is in the pudding, or the proof of the pudding is in the eating, is delivering on those use cases that people can experience in real life. Yes, it's working. Yes, it's working for me and not against me. And that's how you build confidence in the tool. But also defining what AI can do and what AI should not be used for. It doesn't mean you can be now a bit cool about process redesign. We still keep very focused on process standardization, process simplification, process elimination, always questioning the underlying processes, because otherwise just using AI to circumvent redundant processes is the wrong approach. So we are not completely obsessed with AI. Yes, it's very important and it's a solution to many, many pain points, but let's think about the basics: data, processes, organization, and this is how people get excited. And how we can use AI as a career accelerator for people. We are all limited in our ability to work 8 hours a day or a few hours more. We are all limited by the languages we speak. We are limited by the skills we got. So how can we inspire people to go beyond what they can actually do through AI? We talk about augmented humanity. Mm-hmm. That's also a way to remove the fear and show a path to career progression for our employees.
Yeah, I think you're making two good points. The first one is AI can't do everything, and it's important to know. And the second point is something that reminded me of an event we did last year, the Business Agent Summit actually last year, where somebody from LinkedIn basically said, AI won't replace you, but somebody using AI will. And I think that's quite relevant in terms of the upskilling. It's not going to be the technology in itself. It's going to be somebody who might be using the technology better than you. So as an employee, as a finance professional, and not just across finance, but across every sector, it's important to learn these tools and to understand what they can and cannot do, but also not being fearful about replacement, because I agree with you in terms of the replacement side as well.
I'll add
Emre.
something about to Reino. A couple of years ago, we were discussing blockchain-based trade solutions. Now we don't talk about blockchain-based anything.
True.
We
Wonder why.
we were supporting blockchain or cryptocurrencies because it provided confidentiality. Now we all back the God to Fed at its reserve bitcoins, which is against confidentiality. So AI is one of the crucial things about AI. We shouldn't let it to be a victim of popular culture of business environment. That's why the ERP, the data itself, and the human resources are very crucial and needed to be discussed too much in order to prevent such kind of cases.
I want to move on to agents because we've mentioned it in one go a bit. So we actually had a question on Slido, which is specific on do AI agents negate the need for a unified ERP, if anyone wants to say that, but maybe on a broader discussion in terms of agents, why are you going to use agent for? Is it really that much of a game changer compared to Assistant, for instance? So who wants to go first? Renaud, because you've mentioned agent quite a lot.
So I was thinking about this question
You
first,
can answer
maybe I
that question as well. Please go ahead.
So there is a difference between unified and unique. So do all your processes need to run on one single holistic platform? Maybe not. But having a unified ERP, yes, because this is the system of record, and instead of having data lakes and everything, having everything integrated in one system, of course, brings a lot of value. Also, in the past, when cloud computing was introduced, it let a lot of new entrants come into the market with best-of-breed solutions. But those best-of-breed providers don't have the deep pockets to invest in AI the way larger providers like SAP can do. As I said, 1 billion a year, it's a lot of money that we put on the table. So having all your data in a system that is evolving very fast, embedding AI is probably the best decision for you. I hope that answers the question. And then what was your question, sorry?
Are agents going to be that much of a game changer in terms of using agent? You know, we talked about Assistant for the last couple of years. Or I know agents are different, but are they going to be that different for the financing side of things, for the finance professionals?
Yeah. Well, I truly believe in the concept of multi-agents, agents working together and trained to make some decisions and train decisions so that finance people can really focus on value add and complex topics. So I'm thinking about tax, for example. The taxes are touching a lot of different aspects of the business. It can be revenue, it can be cost, it can be assets, it can be cross-border transactions, intercompany. And having agents working together to make sure that A, you are totally compliant, but also B, see where you can optimize things and identify the risk areas and preventively make the right decisions so that your tax manager can focus on more strategic topics and ideating on how we can optimize the taxes instead of being entrenched in identifying and searching for issues, and you don't know what you don't know necessarily. So if you have agents doing that for you, that's a way for finance to secure compliance, because there is no compromise on that, but also optimization and the real usage of the human talents that you have on your team.
Yuming, what are you saying, agent, going forward?
I think the AI agent, the way I look at it, is a very simple extra resources. It's similar to hiring a very brilliant analyst that is adding on to your team, who can actually do all of those fancy chart, analytics, and all these things, dashboard. Right now, we rely on real human to perform. But in the future, those different AI bots or agent is going to do that job for us. And in this case, we can hire, or in here way, hire multiple of those AI agents to facilitate. To Renaud's point is then so that our analyst, the real analyst, can focus on human interaction, business partnering, adding value to all that. And all of this thing is building on the foundation of the data, unified data. So the better that we have those in the foundation, then the better job that our AI agent and human interaction on stakeholder will be able to perform. So that will be a very promising future that I'm looking forward to.
Emre, what's your view on agents?
Agents, I think, will work better in investment field of finance. We already use it. Most of us get solutions based on AI agents in investing. But in a producer facility, in a production company, your solution might change. What AI agent might provide you may change. I think it will provide us, like you said, reliable reporting needs, and it will decrease the human needs especially in reporting. Standardized reporting will not require to hire a couple of people. So in real sector, it will provide some different solutions than in finance, in investment sector. But for sure, it will decrease the human workforce needs, for sure.
And Winnie, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's, as Huiming mentioned, it's really assistant or analyst, which is actually the agent. And then also for us, we utilize it everywhere we use. It's not just finance and HR. We actually also using the talent of our own workforce to create their own agent. So you get in our own closed AI tools we have in the organization, you create your own agent. You can name it whatever way you want and do very specific tasks for them. And then I think it's great in terms of for people to spark people's creativity and thinking about what is really the inefficiency in your work. Because you don't do the detailed work, you might not appreciate exactly the angle they come from. And then, some people literally say, I want to have an Excel agent, help me to go through everything, can do. They actually literally build on to it, what is useful for them. And I think the trend, add on to everyone's good point, is a personalized agent. Gradually, there will be personalized agent, which is you're interested in, what you want that to help you to achieve what your goal should be. So, yeah, I think we're looking forward to see that there's a world to become. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Final question, and I'm going to ask you to give a very quick answer. In a sense, we've got this question in terms of which is better, organization building internally a custom AI agent or buying off the shelf. So I'm going to ask you to pick one or say it depends. Renaud, start with you.
I thought I answered the question already. If it's unique and it creates a competitive advantage, you probably want to build in-house. Otherwise, it's a shared business requirements. The platforms we delivered for you as a package.
Huiming, what about you? Internal or buying off the shelf? Or does it really
depend? I think the classic answer, it depends.
It depends. I think
it
that's
depends, okay? So personally, I am more of a fan of looking through off-the-shelf solution, because for me there were so many brilliant minds, out there that we could go and just use it, as opposed to building things from scratch. So I will always be starting point when I encourage our team on those solution evaluation. That's always I say, hey, let's go and find if there's anything that we can just buy from the market, and if the answer is no, then we will see to how we can create something. But my starting point will be assessing the market.
If you're very quick. No, because we have a time and it's flashing red and I'm going to be told off. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you to our panel and thank you to all of you.